I'm Lieutenant Solomon Kagogwe. I'm a graduate architect working with the Updf Engineers Brigade. I'm here in Soroti. I'm the site engineer for the ongoing projects within the city and also within the district local government. We are doing a construction of Soroti Regional Referral Administration Block in the Soroti Regional Referral. And I'm the site engineer. The project is phased out into 2 phases, and the first phase is supposed to do substructures and up to first floor, and then we come down and we finish, and when we operationalize the ground floor, we have attained 80% completion. What is pending there is painting, the floor works, floor internal finishes, and the ceilings. And then I'm also the site engineer of construction of a 2-staff accommodation block in Soroti Health Center 3, which is within the district. Soroti is along Selere Road. The construction has just begun. The project cost of that project is 400 million and is supposed to take 6 months. We have so far consumed 1 month, and we are in substructures. We are backfilling and compacting of hardcore. We hope to cast the slab within the next weeks. The project percentage is 27 completion of that Soroti 2-staff accommodation block. Where we are right now is the ongoing construction of Soroti Local Government District Administration Block. In the Soroti Regional Referral Hospital Administration Block, the project we started the project 8 months ago. We have been on site for 8 months now. The contract period was they first gave us 6 months, and then we requested for an extension of time, and then we were added another 6 months. So we still have 4 months to complete now the project. What we have done, we have excavated the foundations, we have done the substructures, we have finished slabbing the ground floor, and then we erected the superstructure walls, and then we also cast the first floor slab, and then we plastered and rendered. We have done the verandas, and the project is now at 78% completion. What is pending there is the door shutters, the floor tile finishes, the ceiling finishes, and the electrical and the mechanical and electrical finishes. Thank you.
So what was the MOU between you as UPDF engineers and the Minister of Works, Minister of Health, the client, under that project?
We had a work implementation agreement to phase out the works. The total project cost is 1.12 billion, but the Ministry of Health had 520 million, which they initially sent to the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs, and Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs contracted the UPDF Engineers Brigade to be the constructor, to represent it to come and carry out these works. So, but the total project cost is 1.12, which is phased out into 2 phases. The first phase of that initially deposited 520 was to do the foundations and also finish finish the first floor such that the administration, the hospital administration can move into the building, and then later when funds are available, they can continue with the second phase works to finish the building up to completion.
Okay, I am Edor Simon Peter Ku, this chairperson Soroti, local government. I also happen to be, I can call myself a client to the Brigade, the engineering Brigade, where 2 years ago we signed an MOU with the engineering Brigade to construct a district quarters, to design and construct. And I'm happy to report the design was done, and we got a very good design for the district quarters, and the construction also started last year. It is a 10.1 billion project, but we are doing it in phases, and the MOU is that they do the entire project. And as we talk now, phase 1 we have achieved. We are now in phase 2, which we are also moving on well, and we expect to remit more money, I think, the next 2 months for phase 3. And then also have a new project in Soroti Health Center 3 with the same Brigade, although it is at its initial stages. But maybe to just say something on the district quarters. I really have appreciated the systems that are always engaged in the engineering Brigade. They have an entire system of engineers. They have all the kind of engineers you may need on site. That's the biggest advantage I've seen with them. Now, these other contractors I've been using, you find that the contractor has only one engineer, maybe civil. When it goes to other engineers, he does not have. But the advantage I've seen with the Brigade, they have an entire system of construction. You don't need to look for another person. Even when it comes to supervision, they have their own structures of supervision. So you find that it does not over-engage our local engineers. And then I've also seen the quality. Well, the advantage I've seen the engineering Brigade, they have really maintained the quality. And when you look at the quality of work so far in the district, the headquarters has the best. And then what other advantage I've seen in the engineering Brigade is in terms of the relationship. You know, initially when they said we are bringing soldiers, you know, there's that thinking of a soldier coming to construct. People could think maybe they don't listen to the local leadership, but this is a very unique army, very disciplined. They've worked with my community very well. They've also employed my local people who have managed to blend with them very well. You may not even know they are soldiers unless you see them in their uniform. So the working relationship is very good.
We have created we have had a friendly working relationship with the hospital leadership. Whenever we needed help or anything, they were always there. Regularly we have monthly site meetings which are attended and chaired by the hospital director, and they have been a regular tool to guide us to have a good product that we have had at the hospital right now. We still have 4 months to hand over the project, but we think in 2 months time from now we should be practically handing over as we enter into defects liability period. In 2 months from now we should be able to hand over the project. Right now we are inside the newly built oxygen plant, and it's at 95% completion. We have done all of the civil works. What is pending is the installation and operationalizing with the electromechanicals. The electromechanicals were supposed to install the oxygen tanks, and most of the equipment have been brought on site. It's pending bringing the transformers and other electrical gadgets, and then the trunking to be done and connected to fully operationalize it. Thank you.
The
contract period for the civil works was contract period was given 6 months, but due to the challenges of weather, we took a total of 8 months. And then ordering 8 months in total to finish the whole of the civil works. And then what has really been pending is the shipments and the bringing of the oxygen equipment. We have worked very closely, and they have really supported us. Where we needed help, we went to them and we were helped. Where we needed guidance, they still guided, and where we needed a call to other different stakeholders, the political stakeholders, still they came in handy. So they have been a crucial part, and they have guided us very well. The oxygen plant, it was the first of, it has its technicalities, but these other civil works are similar to these other buildings that we are doing. The only components that are there are in the finishes. When you are finishing, an oxygen plant has other components that has specialists that has specialists that have to come and install certain equipment that are going to do the fabrication and making of the oxygen. So once in a while you find that in the design some component wasn't taken care of, and then you have to break, and then you have to create space for it. So it has been a learning curve for most of us. But us as the HPDF Engineers Brigade, we are given drawings from the Ministry of Health, and we execute the drawing to the dot. We don't make any amendments unless we're given an instruction to do. As we hand over these buildings, we come in and we train them on how they're going to maintain them. So after practical handover, we'll train the end users on how they're going to maintain these buildings, be it on the oxygen plant, be it on the hospital administration block, how to clean the tiles. We need to teach them how to do them. We hand them over, and then we come and monitor during the defects liability period.
And then the other thing I've seen with the brigade, when it comes to supervision, apart from the district team, they also have their own team that sits with us, then we compare. So at the end of the day, there's no room for you to blame anybody, because we do that monthly. And then also in the brigade, the only challenge I see with the brigade is before the new team was brought on board, it was centralized. The management was done at the center, and it used to be a very big challenge with us. But I'm happy with the new system that even is now having regional coordinators. Like recently we received a coordinator for Eastern Uganda, and at least now we can access the supervisors easily. That time it was very difficult. You had to go to Kampala to meet the supervisors, but now at least they are at the region. The other challenge I see now with the brigade, the demand. I don't know what the president will do, because I see most local governments now prefer not using the brigade. The issue of accountability is not a challenge. For them, you give them a one-off and you only wait for the product. But now these other contractors, we always get challenges with them. At the end of the financial year, you find that they have not consumed all the money. But the systems in the brigade, when you have paid them, even after the financial year, your money is secure with them. That's the most important advantage that we have with the brigade. And we have agreed in the region here, bigger projects we shall be giving the brigade just because of the safety of our money. The money is safe.
We're also having another project in Soroti district. That is the construction of 2 accommodation block staff house in Soroti Health Center 3. Soroti is along Selere Road. It's around 18 kilometers from Soroti district, and I am also the site engineer. The blocks, each block is 15 meters by 9 meters long, approximately 148 square meters, and we are now in substructures. In substructures, we have excavated foundations. We have done the anti-termite treatment. We have done the blinding, the concrete blinding, and the mass concretes in through the foundations. We have done the plinth walls in the foundations, and right now we are doing the backfills. Though we are affected, it's a rainy season, so we cannot do too much compaction. So it's naturally, we are leaving it to naturally compact itself. Then when the rains are done, we'll come and compact and ram very well. Then we place the hard cores and then move along. Right now the project on our work plan, it is 27% complete.
The other bit that we may need to request the leadership of the brigade, most especially the president, is to increase the manpower. Because I see in my site the top leadership and a few builders, but now that I have 2 sites, I am looking at adding them more 2 sites soon. So I see the team may be torn apart and they may not deliver in time. The other thing that I need the central government, also the president, to look at is to market this. You know, people have not known much about the engineer brigade. There's that fear. But I want my other colleagues to benefit from the brigade. So they should come out and also compete freely with others. In most cases, the brigades, they wait for you to write to them. They don't come out to look for work. That's what I've discovered with the brigade. Otherwise, their work is good, and I want to encourage local governments to work with the brigade, mostly because of the quality and to the issue of the safety of our funds.
In the scope of works, what we are supposed to do, we are just supposed to build a 2-staff house and operationalize it. In it, we have to do the foundations, we have to do the wallings, we roof it, then we do the finishes. In the finishes, we'll have to paint, we'll have the floor terrazzo works, and then the external painting. With solar components, installing of solar energy onto it, and then also the external works, paving and a few tree planting.
The only thing what is silent with the brigade, from the 1 billion, they spend the entire 1 billion on works. But you know, when you use these other contractors, within the 1 billion, they want their own profits. They want other taxes. So that's when we look at the work done vis-a-vis the money paid. You may assume that maybe the money was little and the work is much, but just because for them they don't look at the issue of profits. I don't know how they benefit as government, either they give support just to local guys. I don't know how they benefit, because when we sit down with our district team, the same work, the contractor who had applied for it, only the slab was going to do almost 80% of the slab at 1 billion. But the brigade did a slab plus walling at 1 billion. Yes. So when I looked at why they do that, is because the contractor would have lost almost 200 plus million on the other things, profits, those other issues. So whatever what I've done is within the money we gave them. Because I've given them so far 1.8 billion. We also have 1 billion coming in now soon. We're adding to them to give us at least 2.8 billion. So at least by the time we spend like 5 to 6 billion, we would have reached some better level as a district.
We have a block making yard in one of our sites in Soroti regional in Katine, where we make our concrete blocks, and then we go and we test it in the central material testing lab in Mbale, the regional testing lab in Mbale, and then upon passing of the test is when we use them on our various sites that we are carrying out in Soroti. We have a target of working, the contract period is 6 months, and so far we have consumed 2 of the 6, and we hope to achieve the target. We have on the ground in Soroti, we have a workforce of 5 soldiers and 7 civilian staff. The civilian staff is hired from within the community of Soroti, because within our work implementation agreement, 40% of the labor is supposed to be hired from within, such that they take part into the construction of any project, and they are aware of what we are doing. Also keep us into check and take regular reports to the local leaders if there are any if we are not disciplined very well, and we don't pay them on time, we do what. So that is why we are supposed to hire them and also keep them around us, and also make them learn how we work and make them also love working with us.
The truth is, when it comes to quality and the materials, they use the best material. These other contractors, I think because it's military, they have a lot of regulations that they follow. At least for the time I've been with them, they have never brought in any compromising type of material. And most of the deliveries are from the factory direct to the site. Only what they procure locally is the sand, which they pick from Bale, the lake sand. The blocks are made by them. Yes, and each time they make blocks, they go and test, and results are brought to us. Even the sand, whatever they bring, they test before using, which is not very common with other contractors. They will test the first thing, the second trip, so third, fourth will be now different from what. But these people, every stage they keep testing, so that's what gives us a lot of confidence in them. The only challenge is that speed was too low when it was centralized. But I see a lot of changes now when they have now brought in regional coordinaters. At least I see now they are common on the side, the speed is changing, and I think that's the time, the area they should improve more. From regional, they should even bring lower to sub-regions. They should have coordinators within the sub-region. Like now in Teso, I see Bukedia, many projects are done by them. Soroti now, this one, City are done by them, and more districts are coming on board. So if still even have it at the regional level, it may be heavy for the coordinators. At least I request that the president should bring it lower to sub-regional level, so that we really have that free access to the brigade.
We have structures that we have put in place right from the leadership. These are also military operations that are undertaken in peace times, and it has an overall commander. An overall commander of these ongoing projects is the Joint Staff Engineering Engineer General, Brigadier General Engineer Besije Bekunda, and then next in line is the Commander Civil Engineering Brigade, is the Colonel Architect James Regaba, and then we have a regional project manager who supervises the whole of Eastern region, is the Captain Opio Noah, and below him there are the relevant site engineers for the different projects. But even below us, even us as site engineers, we have put in place other structures that we use that help us to manage, even though you are needed on another important matter. We have site foreman in charge of the general duties, and then we have a SAM major in charge of discipline on site. We have a storekeeper, and then we have other different site foremen, like here we have a foreman in charge of block making, we have a foreman in charge of steel fabrication, we have a foreman in charge of general masonry works. So, and below him he has also other masons and helpers that maintain the site and keep the activities ongoing. The role of a site engineer is to keep these people in check. So when we come every morning, We pass through the site and run regular meetings on the daily activities that we are going to carry out, depending on the level of the project, the availability of the materials that are available, and what activities we are carrying out. We draft out our site diary that today we are going to carry out these materials. We sensitize the masons and other laborers of that activities we are going to carry out. We tell them about the possible accidents that could be available, such that they are aware, and then we tell them to put on their personal protective gear and also be keen and not to cause accidents on site. To thank the Soroti District Local Government for entrusting us with this enormous project and task, and we pledge not to let them down. We pledge to do our best. We pledge to do our best and also to deliver and also give a visible and good project outcome as per the design and the specification needed in the design guiding documents, the BOQs and the drawings. I also want to thank the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for his continued visionary leadership, for seeing the capacity, for overseeing the growth and capacity building of the armed forces, in particular the UPDF Engineers Brigade, such that he has backed us up and given directives such that we get these works and also show that we have engineers in the UPDF who can carry out these works. I also want to thank the strategic UPDF leadership headed by the Chief of Defense Forces for his continued guidance, and the various monitoring and evaluation supervision checks that are being done to come and find out whether really that we are on ground, really we are carrying out these activities, that we are on ground working. Also want to thank the leadership of the UPDF Engineers Brigade that has seen capacity and also is building capacity in us, then trusting us to come out in the civilian community and carry out these projects.